Hi everyone and welcome back to another Board No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to the Valentine's event and all this stuff coming for late June. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. If you go into the events right here, we have this sweet promotion. I like to call it the Valentine's event. Now when it comes to this thing, there's going to be 3 acts and you can essentially do hard mode to, 100% the whole entire event. And then there's going to be this spicy chocolate challenge mode. I wish there was like some sort of repeat button. When it comes down to this, the event shop, my personal opinion with this is if you don't have good gear yet, then this gear is absolutely phenomenal because all of the pieces will be providing crit damage. Insanely enough, if you can get all of these pieces to be crit damage, this might be one of like the best gear pieces for Xiaolin specifically. Just note that this is going to be the evasion piece and this is going to be the hit piece. So you know how Xiaolin already has like a T6 like sort of gear attached to her. So in some ways, I feel like you should get like the hit gear. I don't think Xiaolin really needs more evasion in my opinion, but don't get this gear if you're already geared up. I would focus on the SAPT core coupons and maybe some special ships schematics in order to get more ships and stuff, because the more ships that you have that are like, diversified, the better off you'll be in PvP and PvE. I think ships are definitely one of like the biggest things to progression, all right? And then I think that's going to be it. You can do like the circuit link currency sort of deal if you have extra circuits. Just don't forget that this is a thing, and go ahead and exchange those. Let's do that and we get 150,000 credits, which is pretty cool, I would have to say. And yeah, so when it comes down to this, we do have a couple of banners as well that appeared, Gaiyun and Yang Harim. Honestly speaking, both banners are really good, but they're reruns. We already have these banners. If you want to pull on them, if you miss your chance, you can, but honestly you should wait. You really shouldn't pull on these, but Gaiyun is definitely one of the better characters. If we were to jump back in time, I would say Gaiyun is more of like your DPS oriented ranger, because Kyle doesn't hit that hard. Gaiyun hits like a truck, but she is not like Rosaria because she is a ground type. If she was an air type, imagine like how OP she would be, but just note that she can hit both air and ground types, so I like Gaiyun quite a bit. She's definitely one of the best rangers in the game. And then Yang Harim, she speaks for herself. She is like the support that you want to run in both PvE, and you can sort of run her in PvP content currently, but she really shines in PvE. Feel like everyone should have a copy of her. Just note that she's not going to be like broken or anything. She's a support, right? Gaiyun is probably like that character that you want for more firepower. Dominic King Reginald, we covered him. If you pulled for him, I think it's fine because he will probably never get banned. And if you like his design and you think he's Zubando, he's definitely decent for those aspects, all right? Now, when it comes to this, here are going to be like the different events and the details, right? It was interesting enough to see that we got Dominic King Reginald before like the old administration banner. It's just like so weird because like he was not scheduled to be within the timeline for TW whatsoever, and I didn't see any hints of him in KR. So we're definitely in our own timeline, and it's already been data mined that Yumina is going to be appearing if you scroll to the right, and it just makes sense that she's going to be appearing. Banner for Awakened Hilde is going to be disappearing, so there's no real reason to pull for Awakened Hilde if you've not pulled for her. Like, she's definitely one of the better defenders and she will carry in PvE content. Don't you worry, she's going to be very relevant. There's no question about that. She's absolutely insanely powerful. This is that Na Yubin's going to be a bit better and it's going to make her fall off in PvP only. I want to make that very clear, PvP only, all right? But we have a couple of days, 5 days essentially, for Yumina to appear. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be pulling on the Yumina banner just because she's a DPS and she's going to be dealing that nice damage that everyone wants to see. Now, when it comes to this, the old administration banner, I really want to pull on this banner. I've been waiting. I've been saving like essentially all of my stuff to pull on this banner to have the most amount of summons in order to maximize everything, because I want a couple of copies of the old administration SR people, and if I can manage to get an SSR, that would be pretty nice as well. And yeah, I don't think like the Delta 7 like Kyle Wong, like this event, I don't think it's going to be appearing yet, but they've been proving me wrong as far as like new banners have been appearing, because Dominic King Reginald literally came out of nowhere. So they could release Fallen like Hawk, which makes a lot of sense in some ways because their assets are already there, and we already got like Maria Antonov's side story. So yeah, it's like just really interesting. Like a lot of things have just changed as we are going through the game. I don't think that we can sort of see what's going to be next. Like if for some reason they could give us the Edel Meitner, I feel like this is a huge thing though, because I believe like when she gets like dropped into the game, she should be unlocking like some story because there is like a couple of things that comes with like ESPR group, like this is what they're known, but we'll probably be like waiting on that one. Most likely we'll either get the Fallen Hawk group, which also I think might bring some story, possibly maybe the old administration group. I'm not sure. If this one drops, I'll finally do a summon session like after quite some time, but if they decide to continue to wait on dropping anything new like banner wise that I want, then I'm not going to be pulling. I have like 70 summons right here, and let's go ahead and jump back. So when it comes to this bingo event, I'm going to be waiting until I hit 40, which is going to be in 4 days, because in 4 days we'll have, you know, 8 pulls, both in like the awakened banner and in the normal banners. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is going to be like the awakened banners and the normal banners. We get like that 1 free pull here, and then that 1 free pull here, and then I'm probably going to do a multi right here that will equate to 50, and that's going to be my personal route in order to get Lee Jisoo with the least amount of summons as possible. Some of you might be wondering, why am I going to be using my black contracts to do this, or black tickets? Mostly because these like pulls actually stack so that in the next banner they will still be usable, whereas if I do pulls here, it's not going to stack. It's not really going to do anything. You could, you know, technically speaking, like do more pulls on here, but there's no pity for this specific banner, so I just want my pity to carry over. Now when it comes to the actual operations and jumping back into the Valentine's event, you should not be farming this challenge mode right here. This challenge mode is specifically just to get the quartz. If you want to see the team that I'm gonna be running, it's gonna be something like this. This is gonna be, I guess, like my mech hybrid team with like Xiaolin and Kyle. Now when it comes to this boss, there's like no 100% guarantees. The hardest PvE difficulty that I have seen personally for a boss launched on counter side, he's not like insane, but to have like level 100 units, to have like this many units attack you at once, this is by far like the most tedious one that I have definitely seen. Now, when it comes to this, it's all about just killing the enemies. You don't have to run the mech crew. Personally, I'm just running the mech crew because it's the one that I can run easily, but I would highly recommend a more counter-oriented team, because a more counter-oriented team would be able to blitz through all of this, because the mech team is more about survival and less about actually dealing damage. So if you can deal like more damage, this is actually ideal. You don't really need to tank most of the hits when it comes to this boss. That's why like Xiaolin is here. She can essentially clear all like the ground units right here, and then Yang Harim for a bit of support. But honestly, you could probably run this with most of the teams. I think the only team that will slightly struggle just because they don't have enough DPS is the soldier teams. Old administration banner before we get like actual DPS for the soldier meta, because soldier meta is more about doing tactical plays and more for PvP. I would have to say it's a pretty difficult stage if you don't have like the proper DPS to tackle it. Like I said earlier, Xiaolin is probably like the heaviest carry for this, and the mech team isn't really recommended. So there we go, we got it at 30 seconds right there. Not too bad, but I'm sure some of you have essentially already golded this. And the only reason why I showed the mech team was mostly because I feel like that's a team that's more realistic than running something with the twins, and not a lot of people are running the twins. All right, so when it comes to the actual event, you should be farming this stage because this is going to be dropping the choco balls. It's relatively simple. It's nowhere near as difficult as the previous stage. You can do stack operations and what have you, and like we said earlier, you should be expending most of your stamina here just to get like the SAPT core coupons and some of the special ship like schematics and stuff. Outside of that, if you don't need the gear, don't get the gear, but you know, this gear is pretty decent and you can't really go wrong either or, because if anything, I would probably be spending my stamina over here into like the gear operations and getting more gear. So jump into some PvP. Now I did see something interesting today. Look at Doll. Look at this champion right here actually running the soldier comp. Now some of you might be wondering though, is it actually this easy to run this comp? Personally, I feel like Doll is being a more tactical player. You can't just auto these units in, obviously, because you can drop like Kang So Young, and then like the whole point when it comes to soldier meta is to overwhelm the enemy as soon as they pop in, and I'm assuming they're doing something to that nature because they can put like more units than anyone else, and that's why soldier units are so great. Now it's more different when it comes to like the other teams. Everyone's running, you know, your standard sort of meta, but it's really nice and very refreshing to see someone actually run the soldier comp and not have like a bunch of teams teams like this. Look at Scarlet and Void Corp pretty much dominating right here. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some PvP. This is the team that I've been using. I haven't been running the mech meta as much, mostly because like I got bored with it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm also like not really trying as hard in PvP. If you ever see me in PvP, I am 100% or most of the time just like AFK. I just do it so that I can get some gauntlet points. And if you don't know why I'm getting gauntlet points, it's mostly so I could get like the black contracts and get more summons on the Awakened banner and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and see if this person is actually playing, because a lot of people who sit in gold 5 don't really play that much anymore. A lot of us are actually just autoing, which is pretty cool, I have to say, because it just makes like, you know, like gold 5 a underlying understanding that everyone is here just to chill and we're not really like going ham and trying to push our ranks. I know I should be platinum, I know I should be pushing PvP, but honestly I can't really be bothered with a lot of that stuff. I just want to like, you know, go through my dailies, do my thing on counter side. I don't want to focus on the meta, but I'm playing like a lot of games at once and it's kind of hard to like make sure I'm relevant. Like for example, I should have pulled Rosaria if I wanted to climb ranks a little bit better, because she is absolutely busted. If you pair Rosaria with like Gaiyun like the other week before Gaiyun got banned, that team was probably pretty scary to face. So thank you over here. I think they were like not putting as many units as I saw like from earlier, and I like how they were using Lee Jisoo because that is pretty unique. Anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Good luck if you are trying to still get Lee Jisoo. I feel like she's going to be a fantastic unit. And then when it comes to like the actual Valentine's event or the sweet promotion, chocolate event, whatever you want to call it, make sure to farm this stage and get your SAPT core coupons. Thanks so much for watching and see you in the next one.